This presentation is brought to you by the Jobs Club at Northside Partnership and will be focused on elevator pitch. The objective of this presentation is to learn what an elevator pitch is, how you're likely to be asked for your elevator pitch, what does it communicate, why it is important to prepare one, how to write and deliver your own elevator pitch, and some basic do's and don'ts when formulating your elevator pitch. What is an elevator pitch? An elevator pitch is a short summary about yourself and what you do in the time it takes you to ride an elevator. They're usually about 30 to 60 seconds long. They can be used for interviews, networking events, or as a sales pitch. You should see your elevator pitch as an opportunity to sell yourself and not just simply answering a question. How would an interviewer ask you for your elevator pitch? The most common way an interviewer asks you this question is by simply saying, "Tell me about yourself." Another way to identify when you're being asked for your elevator pitch is when the interviewer says, "Talk me through your CV or career." What does an elevator pitch communicate? Firstly, it communicates what skills you have that are relevant to the role. This could simply be your organization, interpersonal, IT skills, etc. Then we have attributes. So what attributes or characteristics can you bring to the company? Take, for example, your ability to lead, motivate others, or simply your willingness to help your colleagues. Then we have experience. If you have experience in a similar type of role, your elevator pitch is a good opportunity for you to highlight this to the employer. It's also a good opportunity for you to explain why you're interested in the role, whilst at the same time demonstrating what you know about the company. Perhaps the most important thing that your elevator pitch communicates is suitability, as this demonstrates why you're the most suitable person for the role. So why is it important to prepare an elevator pitch? As demonstrated in the bar chart here, a number of studies have shown that up to 75% of interviewers make a decision on a candidate within the first 15 minutes of the interview. So use it as an opportunity to show what makes you unique and to demonstrate why you're interested in the work that you do. In other words, stand out from the crowd. You should also use it as a platform to show how your skills will be an asset to the company and how you can contribute to the specific role that you apply for. But it's important that you do your homework on the company first. And remember, the main aim is to reveal information that will highlight your suitability for the role. How to write an elevator pitch. The first thing you should do is write down everything you would want someone you're meeting for an interview to know about you. It's important here that you don't hold back with the list, as you can edit it down later on. So get everything down on paper so you can understand what you're working with. If you're struggling to write stuff down or you're just not great at bragging about yourself, ask yourself the following 4 questions. What makes you different in your field? How do you stand out? What benefit can you bring to the company or the role? And what skill and experience you have that relate to where you want to be? So now that we have our list, it's time to decide what's important and remove what you feel is not relevant to the role that you're interviewing for. If you're having a hard time paring it down, ask yourself the following 4 questions. What do I do? Why does it matter? Why do I do it? And what next? So here's an example of an elevator pitch structured using the 4 previous questions. Firstly, what do you do? I'm a customer support representative for the technical support division of Dublin Telecom. Why does it matter? I interact with customers over the phone and handle complaints and issues. Why do you do it? I take a great sense of pride in being able to resolve complex technical issues that result in minimal disruption to the service provided to customers. What next? My objective now is to move into management so I can apply my expertise to more staff and improve the efficiency and customer service offered within the company. Top tips for delivering a good elevator pitch. A good elevator pitch is interesting, brief, and memorable. It should capture the attention of the interviewer, but should be concise and to the point. Always ensure to introduce yourself and note your credentials from the outset. It's important to highlight what you can do and the value you can deliver in the role. If possible, note something that may differentiate you from your peers. Also, see it as an opportunity to emphasize your interest or experience in the position. Avoid using fluffy statements such as "I'm passionate about working with elderly people," and instead say, "I've recently completed a course in caring for the elderly and volunteer my time at a local nursing home." And finally, mention similarities with the interviewer, such as you attended the same college or you grew up in the same area. Now we're going to look at some of the key things to consider when delivering your elevator pitch. It's important that you don't leave the interviewer guessing as to what it is exactly that you do. So clearly define your job goal within your elevator pitch. It's also important to tailor to your audience. In some cases, it's a good idea to have multiple versions of your elevator pitch to draw on. You should also try and be passionate in your delivery, as this could leave a positive and lasting impression on the interviewer. Finally, it's really important that you practice and more practice with your elevator pitch before final delivery to an interviewer. Now we're going to look at some of the key things to avoid when delivering your elevator pitch. It's good to remember that an elevator pitch should be no more than 30 to 60 seconds long. So try and avoid any rambling and keep it brief and to the point. It's also good to try not sound rehearsed, as this could leave a negative impression with the interviewer that you're not fully prepared for the interview. It's also good to not leave the interviewer guessing as to what it is that you do and what it is that you want. And don't undersell or oversell yourself. By underselling yourself, you risk losing out on the position, whilst overselling yourself, you risk being hired for a position that you're not capable of fulfilling. Finally, always ensure to have variations of your elevator pitch that you can draw upon. It's important to remember that selling yourself can be a difficult thing for most of us. So it's vitally important that you own the abilities that you do have and you demonstrate these in your elevator pitch. Now we're going to have a quick recap on what we learned from today's presentation. Firstly, we learned that an elevator pitch is a 30 to 60 second long summary about yourself, and it's also an opportunity for you to sell yourself for a particular role. The most important thing that an elevator pitch does is communicate your suitability for a role. Up to 75% of interviewers make a decision on a candidate within the first 15 minutes of the interview. When writing your elevator pitch, it's important to write everything down and then edit out the least relevant or important stuff afterwards. Keep your elevator pitch brief but interesting, note what makes you different, and avoid using fluffy statements. Ensure you tailor your elevator pitch for your job goal and audience, own your abilities, and practice the delivery. Be clear about what you can offer. Don't be shy about selling your true skills and abilities, and ensure it is tailored for the role you are interviewing for.